check. Yeah. Roll back. Roll back. Check. Check. Yeah. Check. Roll back. Check. Khi cái master volume 轉咗係唔可以用嗰個。Hey, 1, 2。佢嘅 output 俾我，咪跟住個麥嘅聲出嚟俾我嘅。佢嘅 master 好似 send 翻俾我，佢嘅 module send 翻俾我，佢嘅 module send 翻俾我。仲有，有。誒？冇咩？誒？等先啊。嘿。收波死啦！波死啦！唉，買 matrix 啦。係啊，喺嗰度。因為依家呢，你已經用咗喺你科學呢個
Test 1, 2. Good morning. Test 1, 2. Test mic 1, 2. Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. No.
Check, check, 1, 2. OK.跟住你 test pattern 俾我。
Good morning, everyone. This is Sunny Chendi from APNIC. I hope you enjoyed the party last night, and looks like a lot of people actually had a late night. So they may be turning up slowly into the room. But we already waited 5 minutes, so let's get started. So the other session can get started on time as well. So I'm going to present the APNIC survey and the feedback that we received. But before that, I would like to just mention about this session. This session is all about you, the APNIC members and the community. Whatever we implement or provide, the services is for the benefit of our members and for the community. So thank you so much for providing ways for us to improve ourselves and provide better services for you. That's really appreciated. So I'll quickly go through the some survey results, and then my colleagues, as you see in the agenda, we have various presentations, and then each one of them will talk about their own expert areas and what they're doing currently, what have they implemented, and how it benefits you. And you can ask questions as well after each presentation. Take your time and ask questions. If you want any clarifications required further, we will be very happy to provide that as well. So the APNIC survey, we conduct this every 2 years, and you probably will hear from other RIRs as well tomorrow in the global reports. They may share their results as well. It's a norm that we conduct these surveys to gather feedback from our members and the community and see how we can. One slide back, please. Yeah. Does it work? Yeah. And improve ourselves, to better make it better and better provide better services for you. So this survey, we already published this. We already announced these results at APNIC 58, and you can also see the report on APNIC website as well as APNIC 58 conference website. 1,000 plus took the survey in 2024. It offered in 11 different languages, and I hope that helped many of our members to actually take part in the survey. And as you can see on the screen, we did measure quite a lot of things, and I'll go through a few of them here to share results of few of those questions. But for a complete report, please go to the APNIC 58 conference website or APNIC website to access the full report. So the first one is quality and value of our services, that we provide to our members and the community. As you can see on the screen, we achieved good results here, but there's still a lot of improvement to be happen. I'm not going to read through all the results on the screen. He can see very well. And this presentation is published on the conference website as well. But more importantly, we really appreciate that you still believe in APNIC, and you still think that, we are providing good quality of service. But of course, there is always a room to improve. And also our responsiveness to you as well. We asked that question too, and you rated quite high. And the value of service that we provide is still very useful, and it's good to see that you actually think that the value of the service that APNIC provides is of value to you and your organization, and as well as the membership as well. So thanks for this feedback. And as I said, looking at the small figures in each of those boxes, there's still room for improvement, and we will be doing our best for the next survey round. This is operational challenges. The internet security or cyber security, whatever you call, is still a big thing, big ticket item. And also the skills shortages as well. You will hear from my colleague later on, in terms of our capacity building programs. We have Peter and talking about it, the academy, and also Terry, our training manager. They will both share their improvements and capacity building programs. So, but we are focusing, and my colleague Adley, I see here, he's in the room as well. If you want to talk about anything related to the security aspects, you can approach him. But stay tuned for more details on the capacity building programs. Technical training preferences, there's 53% of them rated highly for certification. And again, Peter will talk about the certification program that we just recently introduced about that. So, but it looks like the cost of the trainings and the qualifications as well, rated as well there. And we are doing our best, but of course, if you have any great ideas that you want to share with my colleagues here or with any one of us, any APNIC staff, please do so. And we constantly improving our training deliveries, and also have more choices for you to take those trainings. So this is not just a survey that we conduct every 2 years. You can always, come and talk to us, speak to us. We have a members lounge outside the room where my colleagues from the member services are always present. You can go and speak to them freely, and don't be shy, whatever you'd like to talk to us. Or whatever you'd like to see that we improve ourselves, please engage with them. And also there will be a feedback throughout the conference as well. There's a feedback coming up all after this conference, that's about the conference, whether you like the content in the conference, how we can have more topics in the conference, or anything you would like to mention there. You can provide the feedback not just through the surveys, but you can also provide it through social media, and also we have user research. I think my colleague Andre will talk about it later a bit more on that. But again, it's anything, anyway, you'd like to reach us, we are always there, we are always online, with our online chat and also emails as well. And we constantly look for improvements and on ongoing basis, every few months, or every 6 months, every year, every 2 years. Regardless of the time, we always look for improving ourselves and provide more better services for you. So that's about it from me. I don't see the agenda here, but I believe the next one is Pubudu, right? Thank you, Arth. So my colleague from Member Services, Pubudu, will talk about their service activities. Pubudu, over to you. Each speaker have 10 minutes max, and at the end of the presentation, please stay back and ask for questions. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Pubudu from APNIC Member Services. So my presentation is a brief one about feedback that we receive at Help Desk and what we have done to improve further. So just about the word impact. So we have a team of 14 people in our services, and we listen to the chats, the phone calls, and we also take care of our members' email inquiries. So we kind of know what are the challenges members are facing, but if we suggest it as it is to Andre's team, he will put it straight to the backlog. It won't see the daylight again. But with your feedback, we can show that these number of people can benefit from this improvement. It gets prioritized and it gets done. So that's why it can create real impact. So how to send feedback first? So at the end of a chat, if you have joined the live chat, you'd be prompted to provide feedback. And when a ticket is resolved, you have a chance. And also on our website, if you go to the community, and you can see the send feedback form on the left side. And Andre just mentioned that at the bottom of every screen, every page, you can see the feedback button as well. And I think Sunny explained in detail about the APNIC survey. Or if you have any feedback, just contact us. We are available to listen to you. So this is about how to find help. You know, our website is quite deep. The information is everywhere scattered. So it's very difficult to find the help that you need. So this feedback I have taken from our members. I haven't even changed the spelling. So this is about asking somewhere that they can get help without having to go through all these pages. So this is what we have done. Easy to remember URL, help@apnic.net. So some of the frequently asked questions are well documented here, so you can go to them and see, for example, there's DNS, there's whois updates, and things like that. And we plan to add at least 10 more articles during this year. So if you have any feedback about what articles should be here, please let us know, then we can work it out. So this is one of the improvements that we have done during the last few months. With the popularity of route origin validation, if the source account has ROAS and now we want to transfer it to a recipient, previously, during this transfer at one point, you have to live without the ROAS because you need to delete it from the source account and you had to recreate it at this recipient account. And this created a bit of a confusion or a doubt in the member's mind that their routing can go into invalid state or whether it will go to unknown state. And to eliminate this doubt, Tom Harrison's team, the registry team, now they have made this improvement. The ROAS can coexist in the source account as well as the recipient's account for up to 14 days. So once it settles on the recipient's account, if they're happy with it, the source account can go ahead and delete the ROAS and complete the transfer. Another improvement is the 24/7 on-call support. That was also implemented a few months ago. Previous to that, we still had the on-call support, sorry, and that was not a set procedure. Sometimes Vivek has to wake up in the middle of the night and talk to the NOC team and get it fixed. But it was not a well-set procedure. But now we have 2 people always on-call support. So how it works is when you call this on-call number, which is available on the contacts page, it directly goes into a voicemail. And the system will trigger a phone call to these 2 people, one after the other, until one of them picks up. And we'll listen to the voicemail, and if we see that it's an urgent inquiry, then we can get back to you, ask for more details, and resolve the issue. Please keep in mind, this is, we at the moment, we are treating the operationally impact cases as urgent. That cannot wait until the next day morning or the Monday morning. So I know every inquiry is important to you, but at the moment we are handling things like RPKI issues or the reverse DNS issues, which can actually impact your network. So make use of this if you have any urgent cases now. Another couple of improvements is before, the parent INET object could not be updated by the members. But this had the problem when you wanted to insert the certificate of AWS or the Google or the Oracle, you have to come to APNIC help desk and ask us to insert that certificate. But now we have changed that format. Now the remarks field can be updated by the member themselves, and the certificate can be inserted without contacting the help desk, making it faster and convenient for you. And regarding the invoice, for some members, well, at the moment, we issue the invoice just 1 day after your membership expires, and it gives you 30 days to make the full payment without impacting your services or MyAPNIC access. But for some members, especially in the government or large organizations, they need more than 30 days to start this process, procurement process. So they used to call us or email us and ask for this advance invoice from time to time. But through MyAPNIC, now you can set up this advance invoice. So every year you don't have to contact the help desk. The invoice is issued in advance as you require. And also some companies, they find it easier to pay with US dollars compared to the Australian dollars that we usually do. So that also you can set up through MyAPNIC now. Yeah, so before I wrap up, how to get a faster help desk service. So there are 2 ways we can verify your identity. If you send us an email, we can match your email address against the registered email address in our system. And if you are if it's the same email address, we know that you are a contact person, and we can act upon the level of permission that you are granted. And also, if you join the live chat through MyAPNIC, then we know you are a genuine user because you have to log into MyAPNIC, use your credentials, so we know you are the genuine person who's requesting. But over the phone, we don't have a way of verifying your identity. So if you call us or if you join the live chat as a guest, it's better that you have sent an email prior to that and keep the ticket number in handy so we can refer to that ticket number, check your email address again, and verify that you are the authenticated, authorized person, then we take action. And another thing, like if you know that we are, as a services team, we operate as 4 sub-regions now, and some tickets are handled by that particular sub-region for a better service, more focused service. So if you don't put your member account name in the subject line, it can randomly go to anyone. So if it ends up in the incorrect sub-region, then we have to forward it to the correct sub-region to take action. But if you put your account name, especially with the country code at the end, it knows which sub-region takes care of these tickets, which means there won't be any delays. You'll get the service that you require. That's it about services feedback. Any questions? Back to you, Sunny.
Thank you, Pubudu. How many of you are APNIC members? All right. Have you used any of these services that Pubudu just talked about? You have any feedback? No? All right. Thank you,
Use the
Pubudu.
form to give feedback.
Yeah, you can approach the lounge, APNIC lounge, and provide the feedback there as well. Thank you, Pubudu. The next speaker is Andre. He will talk about the membership products. Thank you, Andre.
Morning. My name's Andre Gelderblom. I'm the product manager for the membership products. Today, I'm going to talk about some product updates. There's really not that many in this particular round. Mostly it's forward-looking stuff. And then I'd like to talk a little bit about what's next and how we can deliver better services and kind of focus a little bit more on smarter products and what that might look like. So one of the first updates is we introduced mandatory multi-factor authentication into MyAPNIC about a month ago. So you'll notice if you do log into MyAPNIC, you will now be asked to set up your 2-factor. And the factors we currently offer are any title provider, Google, Microsoft, etc. We've tested most of them and they should all work. There shouldn't be any issues with that. Also Okta Verify. Okta Verify is a lot easier, it's got push notifications, so for those who can use it, I would suggest using it. It's just a lot easier. We haven't enforced multi-factor for any other application that you go to. So if you go to APNIC, you will need to have some sort of multi-factor, but training or Academy or Orbit or any other system, you won't need it at this stage. Another update we've done a couple of months ago was introduce the ability to generate a renewal quote. You can do this for 1, 2, 3 years in advance. So in order to do that, you go to APNIC, go to the billing section inside APNIC. When you get to there, you'll see there's a new section up top here called, what is it? Generate quote. Oh, shit. And so you can choose 1, 2, or 3 years in advance, and you can generate the quote. Once the quote's generated, it'll appear down the bottom here, and you can click on it to see the quote. Now, this is based on your current holdings, so do remember that if you do generate a quote and get something changed afterwards, it'll no longer be valid, so ensure that you regenerate it. So this has saved us a lot of time and energy for the finance department, who keep getting a lot of emails, and it allows you to self-service as much as you can. Another thing we've done in the web ops section is we have a fellowship application that is currently used by quite a number of organizations, and we offer it free of charge to these organizations. We've run over 100 events since it's launched, and we've had more than 20,000 applicants over that time. It's been pretty, it was developed sort of around about 2015, so it's pretty old. We spent the last year or so upgrading it and modernizing it, and getting it ready for more organizations and more partners that would like to use it. So it allows people to manage a full fellowship program end to end. So if anyone has got an organization that would like to use this, actually talk to Sunny or Blondine. They will be running this at the moment, and I can send you some more details, or come reach out to me if you need to. So let's talk a little bit about what's next, and how we can better deliver some better service, better value, and smarter products. So our mission in the product section is about helping our members and the community, as well as helping our staff work more efficiently and more effectively. And one of the ways we can do this is ensuring that our products are better connected, they're much easier to use, and they're just generally smarter. So we've kind of been working on this for a few years now. It's not something we just decided, although in the last couple of years, AI has sort of boomed. So we're like, oh, this is quite a good idea. We might be able to leverage some of that. But really, over the many years that we've been developing this, we started with things like the single sign-on. So single sign-on was one of our first initiatives where we decided to connect all of our different products together so that it was easier to manage our access, and then be able to connect the various dots when we needed to. So that was really just laying a foundation. We really couldn't do much more than just simply introduce single sign-on and remove the, it was pretty horrible. You had to log into every single product separately, and each login was quite different. So you'd have 3 different logins across 4 of our products, which was pretty cumbersome. So we solved that problem a couple of years ago. We also re-architect our entire portal and APNIC system. So we've got a full mini-service architecture now. This allows us to do a lot quicker and a lot better feature deployment. We've been able to develop a lot of new features inside APNIC at a much higher speed and much better quality over time. And also, we're continually working on improving the interface and the UX in general. And you'll see there's quite a lot of change going to come in the next couple of probably years, I wouldn't say months yet, where we'll be able to personalize a lot of this information. We also introduced the Help Center, which Popadou mentioned. This was done a couple of years ago to help improve how we present help, how we manage help, etc. We introduced Orbit a couple of years ago. This allowed us to mostly enable the community to access this information that was buried inside mailing lists. So we wanted a lot of newcomers and people who weren't used to it and didn't really know how to engage to have a place where they could go to the web and kind of engage in a way that made sense to them. And they can also post through the web instead of having to go through a mailing list. And this has been quite successful in the last couple of years. Training and education is continuing developing, and Peter will touch on this a little bit later on. We introduced the Dash system a while ago, mostly for monitoring network health, and also to help people better understand the state of their resources. And finally, we've re-engineered our entire data model to improve authentication, identification, and accountability. So that's a lot of stuff. We've been doing lots of small incremental changes over a period of years. And this is all sort of leading towards making our products a lot smarter, making our products a lot more interconnected. And we want to focus on a couple of new areas going forward. We want to improve the usability by creating things like contextual aware help, proactive recommendations. We also want to deliver more value, helping members get things done a lot quicker, maybe looking at ways we can use AI to improve some of the ways that things are displayed to our members, and then look for ways to reduce cost. So how are we going to actually do that? So a lot of what we're doing at this stage is idea-based, and what we'll be doing is running prototypes to test these with the community. So what we've got at the moment is something like this contextual aware help. So what that is taking all the information in the help center, taking the chat, taking the support tickets, etc., and putting them where you need them. Because the problem that we're facing today is, as our members have mentioned, is sure, we have a lot of help, and the help's reasonably informative, but it's quite disruptive to my workflow. I have to move away, go and find the help, and then come back. And so what we want to do is be able to put this in the right place. So you'll notice when you go to our new, this is really, is it me? You'll notice when you go to our new multi-factor authentication, which I mentioned in the first slide, there'll be a little help widget down the bottom. And this is our first prototype. Now, it doesn't actually do what I'm going to show you here, but it's the beginning of where we want to go to. So what you'll notice is there'll be links that are contextually aware, so they know which page you're on, and they'll follow, every page that you go to, these links will change, and these are links to the help center. There'll be a direct link to the live chat and a direct link to a ticket. Now, the ticketing link might change depending on what the context is. So if you do click on one of the links to the help center, what we're hoping to do is actually bring the information into the widget, so you don't have to go all the way to the help center, but it is still the same information. We're also looking at ways where when you do submit a ticket, you can do it straight from the widget, rather than having to go all the way to a ticketing system and try and figure out how to do it from there. And then finally, we want to make it smarter. So when you do select different types of tickets in the widget, the form will change to allow you to do the thing you want to do right then and there, without, again, traveling all around our products to try and find where that form is that you want to do the thing. So these are the things that we would like to implement. There's a lot of technology involved in trying to do this. There's a lot of hurdles involved in trying to do this. And we also got to make sure we do it in a way that actually works for the people and for you guys. Because although this may look like a good idea, the minute we put it in front of people, it may not actually be that useful. So we just got to be careful that we don't run off and build stuff that isn't useful. Another thing we're looking at, and this is sort of how Pupadu mentioned before, a lot of the times you want to contact help and support, you have to go to them, and you have to put your membership name in so that our automation works. Well, we're looking at ways to improve that. We need to make our backends more integrated and a lot more smarter. So what we've got here is we're looking at implementing new systems where we combine our ticketing management system with our CRM. We have huge departments that do engagement and development, and then we have a service department that does a lot of ticketing and support. So how can we combine this information in a way that really delivers value, and then use a platform that allows us to deliver integrated services into our products? So one of the things we're doing is looking for ways where we can use a platform like Salesforce to deliver a lot of this support and a lot of this integrated product information where it's needed. I'm going a little bit over time here, Sunny, but I'll just keep going. Another one that we're really looking at, and this one's more about trying to figure out what the right thing to do is. So this is about coming to the community and asking you before we jump in and try and do something. And this is really our first sort of real exploration into AI, where we think it might actually be useful. So as a newcomer, if you're interested in contributing to policy, and we really do try and encourage that, it's pretty difficult. We've got a lot of policies, it's all over the place, not in a bad way, but you kind of have to grow up with it, you kind of have to be really interested in it. And sometimes it's something that does affect newcomers and does affect people that may not be following policy that much, but they don't really realize it. And these conversations happen without them in the loop. So what we're looking for is ways where we can bring this information to them a little bit easier. So we have Orbit, we have the diffs, we have the policy SIGs, we have the mailing lists and the forums. But if you take, for example, this policy that's happening at the moment, perhaps someone would be interested in this. And at the moment we've got, 10 participants and 17 conversations going on, and if you just do a cursory view, for a newcomer, you don't really know what's going on yet, and you have to sit down and really troll through all this information. And if you're not part of the mailing list, you kind of miss out. So it's available on the web, but it's still effort. What if we could introduce AI? Now, you could copy and paste that and put an AI and it kind of gives you, but what if we could introduce some sort of summary where we could give you the information you needed, give a condensed version, maybe highlight some actions you could particularly do, and then that would help us then encourage more participation and more contribution in these type of discussions. Now, how do we actually do that? Well, there's so many different ways, and it doesn't only have to happen on Orbit, but that's the kind of stuff we want to try and look into and spend a little bit of time about. How do we use the technology to enable our community to contribute better? And then the other thing we want to do, sort of the final sort of thing we're trying to do now, is connect all of these products together. So we have single sign-on, we have the training, we have Orbit, we have all these different products, and they're reasonably connected through single sign-on. So if you move from one to the next, we kind of know who you are, and we can authenticate when we need to. But they don't do anything really to help you. And one of the reasons they don't do that is because we don't want to just shove stuff in front of you that is useless and not relevant. What we would like to do is know a little bit about who you are, what your account is, what information might be relevant to you, what training you might be interested in, where you are in your network journey, what you're doing. And if we know a little bit more about that, we can recommend and put the right information in front of you throughout all of our products. So if you're on Orbit and we know that you're in the RPKI mailing list, we can put more information about how to get to RPKI, put some information on how to get to Dash, maybe recommend some training courses, etc. So it's more about making these products useful and connected in a way that actually delivers value. And through that value, we will also do a lot of cost saving for ourselves and for APNIC as a whole, which is the secondary goal. So that's it. That's the conclusion. I've gone way over time. Really what we're trying to do is make our products smarter and more intuitive. And we're going to do this incrementally, we're going to do this slowly and with the community and with our members. We want to take you on this journey with us. We have got the foundation in place. We've got everything ready to go. It's now about really adding that value, adding that wow, and making it truly, truly useful for our community. If you have any more feedback, or if you'd really like to get involved, please join the user feedback group on the mailing list. And what we do is we reach out to the people in that mailing list and ask them to participate in beta testing. We ask them to participate in a lot of the updates that we do, a lot of the testing. So that group is where we reach out and really ask for information. And that's it from me. Thank you. Any questions?
Hi. Hi, Taiji from APNIC. This is a comment. The NetArcs was finished its service, and this is the comment for it. We as the APNIC understand the difficulty of the continuous service, includes the development. But we as the community, Japanese community, access to the service, and it was useful. So, same for the future things, if we can collaborate or discuss about the valuable tools for communities, I think it's good to things for us and the communities, I think. So this is kind of thank you for the good service.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, what we found a lot is people will come in, they'll make a comment, as people do show, they'll make a couple of comments, get involved, but what we really want to do is sit down and truly understand how people use stuff and kind of work with other organizations that can help us build some of these products. And then, you know, like with the fellowship system, some of them may actually be useful not only to ourselves, or our learnings may not only be useful to ourselves. We may learn some, especially with AI, we may learn some really cool stuff and go, well, this is how we did it. Maybe this is something you guys can do. So those are the kind of things that we're really looking for collaboration with where we can find it. Any more questions? Otherwise, I'll hand over to Sunny.
Thank you, Andre. That SSO login improvement, is a big improvement for us and for you as well. Integrating all the systems, especially if you have decided to cannot join this conference in person, you need a single sign-on to participate remotely. And this conference websites as well as integrated through the SSO. So, and also we take the security aspect very seriously, and that's why we implemented the 2FA. Going back to the question, Taiji, thanks so much for that question. I think we should be more consultative in our products, especially facing the community, before we deprecate them. Maybe we will take that question on board, your comment on board, and we try to improve ourselves. Next one is from Peter. He is going to talk about Academy products, and he's actually joining online. Over to you, Peter.
Thank you, Sunny, and a warm welcome to everyone. Unfortunately, I couldn't be there in person, but I hope everyone's having a fantastic time at the conference. My name is Peter Blee, and I'm one of the product managers at APNIC. I'm also one of the development managers in the training team, performing the role of the training curriculum manager. Over the next probably maximum 10 minutes, I'll provide an update on the APNIC Academy, and I hope that you get some value from it. To begin with, for those of you that are new to the APNIC Academy, it's one of APNIC's flagship products. It's an online learning platform designed for APNIC members and the wider internet community, and it provides training and technical assistance on key topics such as internet infrastructure, networking, cybersecurity, IPv6, and other technical aspects related to internet operations. And it supports APNIC members, but also a community of over 45,000 users. If you haven't had a chance to explore or look at the Academy, I put the website link down the very bottom of the slide. I encourage you to visit it. It is strongly supported and also backed by different donors, including the APNIC Foundation and the Asia Pacific Internet Development Trust. And if you have not created an account, you can do so at APNIC Login, and that will freely connect you into the Academy. The Academy has a number of high value offerings. One of them is the online courses. I'm going to just step through just a high level overview of some of those key features, particularly for those in the room that are not familiar with the Academy. So online courses, there are about 70 online courses to choose from. These are self-paced learning. There's also online labs and tutorials and micro-learning courses. And at the completion of many of these courses, you'll receive an electronic certificate, and many do post that on LinkedIn, so I'd encourage you to do so as well. At the end of last year, we had about 4,700 course completions, and that equated to over 13,000 hours of learning in the community. And there's a whole raft of things on there that you can see on the screen that may be relevant to you. You can also on the Academy find upcoming training courses. These are open for registration. If you are already registered on the Academy, we do send a monthly newsletter highlighting some available courses that you can enroll in. And do look out for the open tutorials and open labs, because they're open to all if they're not based within your particular economy. The virtual labs is by far the most popular and sought after service on the Academy, next to self-paced courses. There's some 49 labs there, equating to about 114 hours of learning. All these labs are pre-built. There's no software required to install on your machines. They boot up in the cloud, they boot up in the browser, and you can interact with the network environments. So it's a great way that you can safely and securely experiment on routers and devices without breaking anything. And there's intermediate to advanced and expert topics there. So if you're interested in OSPF, BGP, ISIS, security, I do encourage you to check out the virtual labs, and they're available 24/7. Similarly, for APNIC members in the room, we have a member-only service called the Technical Assistance Platform. It lists available experts that are available. So if you have particular network or operational needs or troubles, and you're looking for APNIC's help, then we can help you with such things like IPv6 deployment or setting up a ROA or some DNS configuration issues. Do reach out. The platform allows you to find an expert, book the expert directly. All of these experts are APNIC staff, I might add, and then you'll receive calendar invites and Zoom links so you can have a one-on-one video call. So I highly recommend this service. It's something that we do not widely promote just because demand would exceed capacity, but it's definitely worth the mention to members in the room. For those interested in how APNIC integrates with APNIC's broader training strategy, it's important to know that APNIC Academy is not more than just an online learning platform. The APNIC Academy is a critical component that connects all the other aspects of APNIC training and technical assistance. So the APNIC platform is that foundation, and the essential components is our blended learning approach, which includes the online courses and the virtual labs to provide that flexible learning experience, but also the instructor-led face-to-face training to ensure that deeper engagement, hands-on learning. So this is the approach that we've taken. It's a fully integrated approach, meaning that whether you're in the classroom setting with us or online or engaged in blended learning, APNIC Academy is designed to support your growth and skills development and the combination of all of that. So let's just move through to a few of the statistics. Often, it's seldom that I provide data over the number of years that the Academy's been running. But I thought this time round, I would talk about what's happened in the last 7 to 8 years in terms of the Academy's growth and some of those key insights. We have a look here on this particular graph around the online courses that have been on the Academy. There's about 74 in total there from 2017 to 2014. You'll see figures from 2013, there were 2,816 course completions and nearly 6,000 hours. And then in 2024, essentially doubled the previous year. And we're seeing that exponential growth. We also, when we've built all the online courses, we've built them in video-based, so they're easy to access on demand and on different devices. And we support that on a CDN to allow us fast and reliable access to people in different parts of the network and different parts of the communities. And we also have automatic certificate generation. So when people do complete, you receive that recognition instantly. So this is a system that's quite effective and quite scalable. And the Academy team is incredibly proud of these achievements in building the online courses, as they've been demonstrating our growing engagement and the Academy's role in leading training of this type in the region. The next growth just shows the number of this kind of remarkable growth of users since the Academy's first inception in 2017. Shane Hermoso is in the room at the moment. She was the kind of the initiator of kicking on the first version of Academy in 2017. And I started an APNIC in 2018, and we did a rebuild of the platform. And it's been largely the same build and the same look and feel all over the years subsequent to that. And we are been expanding though the core capabilities, including course event registrations and online courses and virtual labs. And so we do have internal plans to around rebuilding the Academy and modernizing its interface, enhancing the features. And that's work that will happen over this year and next. In terms of virtual lab usage, this is the most used service on the platform. You can see the graphs there. There's this staggering 70,000 individual lab launches and 81,000 hours of learning in total as culminated in the running of the virtual lab platform. So not only is it an essential part to how we do face-to-face training, but it's also an essential part of how we provide more advanced concepts in a hands-on setting. We also just very quickly on the virtual lab platform, we have made a number of improvements there. These are kind of optimizations, increasing value and kind of increasing the user experience. So there's things like pop-ups to prevent from accidental launching, new view instructions before you launch, and other things we've rolled out like shared labs. So the labs are not just isolated instances per user, but we can have them within different class settings. The other thing I'd like to talk about as well, this is kind of the last part I wanted to speak on, was the certification, which Sunny mentioned on. So at the end of last year, we delivered a fairly major milestone. It was APNIC's very first IPv6 certification. We've never ventured into certification prior, but we were aware that other RIRs did. And so this particular training, this particular initiative was something that is different to traditional APNIC training. It's something that requires people to pass an examination, and we've set up what we call like a boot camp intense training offering for it. So we began with an associate level IPv6 certification. We developed that over a 12-month period during 2023 and 2024, and we launched an alpha trial in the Philippines and Nepal as a way of establishing a recognised certification pathway for people wanting to be an IPv6 professional. And we hope down the track to expand this into professional expert level. So here, this is the crew from both the Philippines on the left and Nepal on the right. So I extend my thanks to Shane Hermoso and also Nasser on the left, and also Archie and PH Nog and other people that played a really key role in pulling it together. But similarly on the right-hand side as well, I want to thank Terry and also Nasser and Dibia for pulling that event together as well. And so from that, we did see overwhelming amounts of highlights on social media about people just praising the intense 5-day, and it was something very different to what they've experienced in terms of APNIC's training. And so you can have a look at my slides if you wish on the APNIC the APNIC conference program website, and you can read some of these comments in a little bit more detail. But the team was quite overwhelmed to read them all, but really praising the work, and I want to thank the team in that. And lastly, just to finish up on the presentation, we have now moved it from an alpha to a beta trial, and so we've now made applications available as of yesterday, now opened. So if you are interested or know people in both Bangladesh or in Thailand, we're running the next 2 intakes in those 2 economies. And we want to thank BD Ren and TH-NIC for their involvement to date. So that's all for me. Thank you very much for your time. There's my email, and apologise again for not being able to be there in person, but hopefully you got some value from that presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Any questions for Peter, or any clarifications required further on the certification program, or do you have any suggestions, what training programs or what certifications can we provide? Anyone? How many of you actually taken any course on the Academy platform? Okay, I see 1, 2, that's APNIC staff. 3. Okay. Please do visit the APNIC Academy. We have a lot of content, a lot of courses, and they're all free. You don't have to pay, okay? And let your colleagues know as well, to take them, and, they can advance their skills online, and also at the conferences here, in the workshops as well. Okay, next is Terry. Terry is our training manager, and he'll talk about the training updates. 10 minutes, Terry. Thank you.
Thank you, Sunny. Yes. So I've got a recurrent joke. I'm actually half a manager. The other half there is Shane. We both do training delivery management for APNIC. Shane looks after Southeast Asia, which we're currently in, and of course East Asia. I look after South Asia and the Pacific. So Shane gets to go to lovely places like the Philippines. I get to go to Bali. No, I don't get to go to Bali. I get to go to Fiji. Yeah, there you go. So all fun and games. So we managed to do 2,300 and something odd direct face-to-face hours with our constituency last year. Our activity plan had us pegged to do 1,200. So we almost got to double. So we're very, very proud of that. And these are very high impact hours that we do. We're in a room with people for 3, 4, even 5 days, and we take them through some difficult topics, mostly advanced intermediate topics, and it's very, very, very fruitful days indeed. I find that while we do a lot of work online and while we do a lot of work self-paced, these are the hours that have a lot of, well, I suppose engagement work as well, and also a lot of impact out in the community. So as Peter was saying, in the holistic view of the Academy, this is one of the essential aspects of what we do. So we cover a lot of different topics. Now, obviously IPv6 is very much top of the pops for topic coverage. Why? Because, well, one of our missions at APNIC is to evangelise and promulgate the cause of IPv6. But security comes up there straight away. So what we're finding is, apart from doing things like routing, and peering and IX, everyone wants to know about security, everyone wants to know about IPv6. So it's a very, very important part of what we do. And as you can see there, it's still very evenly spread. We're still a lot of different variations on a theme. And quite often, when we do training delivery, we try to very much also combine topics. So we might do RPKI and IPv6 and advanced BGP in the same week, just to make sure that we get information out and get knowledge and impact out on those particular topics. So when you do see these mixed and matched workshops, it's us addressing those issues in the same 3 or 4 days. The spread of what we do, well, essentially you can see here about 1/3 of what we're doing is Asia Pacific, not centric, but actually broad. So a lot of work we do at these conferences, this is AP-wide. So a lot of everything we do online is very much geared to addressing training needs across the entire region. And of course, after that, we do a lot of training in Southeast Asia because it's where the greatest demand is. Our opportunities in other areas can be limited by geography and by population density. It's hard to get gigs out in the Pacific because it is the blue continent, very low population density, not many members in APNIC, also not many operators. Whereas I think centric around this region here, there are a lot of operators, a lot of members, and there's a lot of asks for training. So you can see how that spreads out. It's still relatively very even, but again, Shane looks after this region and also East Asia. I look after South Asia and the Pacific. Please come and have a chat to us about your needs as well. Okay, we're very, very enthusiastic about getting to certain economies. We often actually even target a particular economy each year, mainly to see what we can do. So you'll see a lot of events coming up in Bangladesh in the next couple of months and South Asia, but you'll also see a lot of things coming up in the region across the Pacific towards the end of the year. Satisfaction. Oh. There are many, many operations in many, many different areas of corporate land, and they don't get these satisfaction figures. This is one of the things that delights us about the feedback we get from people who receive face-to-face training. Absolutely everyone's delighted with it. So as a metric, it's like if we don't get near 100%, something's gone wrong. But in this case, you can see it really, really, really does, okay, hit a sweet spot. And when you look at the survey that happens every 2 years from APNIC, one of the most highly rated, most highly desired activities is APNIC Academy doing training. So again, the community really values it very highly, and we try to make sure that these figures are near enough to 100% all the time so that it stays that way. Feedback, very, very important to us. We action all feedback. We sit down with Dale's team on a regular basis and work out what people have said to us in our surveys. Every single person who receives face-to-face training does a survey, and we get some interesting feedback. I've been reading surveys where one participant said, "You're too slow." Another one said, "You're too fast." Another one said, "You're just right." So it can vary. You can get some very interesting different pieces of feedback. Everyone loves labs, okay, but they also want to improve them. It's interesting, we do actually have quite a workload with keeping labs up to date. So if we end up having a lab where, oh, okay, this version of such and such is pretty old, you need to update that. So you get that feedback on occasion as well. And of course, the delivery. So delivery is really important. We try to be very agile with our delivery. That is, we actually ask the audience, hey, are you getting this? Do you need to be slowed down? Do you need to be speed up? We do a Menti in the morning in most of our workshops where we say, look, what have you seen yesterday, you've thought about overnight, can we answer some more questions? So we very, very keep much interactive in the training delivery. So feedback, yeah, we take it very seriously and we analyse it very, very carefully. So coming up, we're doing a few different things with our activity plan this year in training delivery. One thing that we are looking for, and it's going to be a very important part of our activity plan, we're looking for opportunities to do train the trainer. Now what this is to use a very military/strategic term, it's a force multiplier. We go out and we find people who want to do community-led training. We train them so they go back to their community to train more people. So instead of spending quite a lot of money training 30 people in a room for a week, we get 15 high-level trainers, we give them, okay, what they need, and they go out and they train hundreds of people or thousands of people. So it's a big force multiplier. So we're going to be going after that. We're doing more work on what we're calling our life cycle of our content. I'll talk about that in the next slide, but we're going to be doing modularization so we can actually put together courses very, very quickly out of the curriculum that we have. And of course, we're putting in a content review process that formalizes how we construct and reconstruct and retire content as well. So we're calling it LCM, our Content Lifecycle Management. So what we're doing with this is we're committing to managing our training content very holistically. So instead of just doing, well, here's a workshop, here's online lab, here's something else, we're going to bundle it all up and look at absolutely every modality, every way of delivering it, concentrate on making it blended, okay, concentrate on making it modularized, and then making it very, very useful across the entire platform. So not just a face-to-face module, but something that can be put into the academy for self-paced, and something that could be in a webinar, and something face-to-face, and so on, and make it extremely useful across the entire spectrum of what we're doing. So that includes us now putting a quality framework in place for content. We're going to be calling it the CRC, that's actually our Content Review Committee, and what we're going to be doing is using the ADDI process and formalising all the steps that we use, okay, for the construction, design and so on of content. So you can see here, we do our analysis. So one very important part of our analysis is what the community is asking for. Another input to that is, do we need to move the needle on IPv6 in South Asia? Yes and no, and so on. So we use a lot of that. Instructional design, this is where we take that scoped need and we put it to Peter's team in curriculum and say, we need a design for this course. So Peter's team will sit down and actually design the course. Then it'll come back to the trainers and to possibly outside contractors who will sit down and develop the course. Okay, at that point we have coursework that we can do. And that gives us opportunity then to go out and do what we did with the IPv6 curriculum, where we actually test it. So you always do a pilot. So we did the alpha last year with IPv6 certification, beta this year, and we take everything we learn with that pilot and we work out what we need to fix and improve. And then it goes basically like any other product delivery, it goes into production and gets used. So it becomes trainer delivery BAU. And again, inside that BAU is all those other feedback processes that improves the quality of what we're doing for training delivery as well. And of course, at the end of that, at the end of the quarter, at the end of the year, we'll sit down and we'll evaluate how we've been doing, with this coursework and with this content. And sometimes it will be end of life. You've probably seen over the last couple of years, we did SDN training. We don't really do SDN anymore. Now we do segment routing. So content and the topics that we teach evolve over time. So we need to keep things current. In that first phase, one of the major inputs is what are the trends? What are service providers, i.e. APNIC members, doing with their networks that they need to learn about? So SRv6 is turning into a very interesting need, especially from mobile operators. They're saying, we can't do this on v4, we can't do this on MPLS anymore, there's not enough labels, there's not enough v4 address space. Well, hello, SRv6, off we go. So keeping everything relevant, very, very important. And of course, doing blended delivery means that we can leverage a lot of those scale-up opportunities with the Academy. So we can take basic content and just push it off face-to-face delivery, push it into the Academy and get it done self-paced. That gives the training team and our experts more time to deliver advanced content. And that's in our activity plan too. We are to bias what we do face-to-face to advanced content, and we'll be doing that. So don't expect to see us doing very, very basic routing training this year. We're going to be going for the very hard things to do them face-to-face because they actually have higher impact when we do them face-to-face. And of course, scaling up. Face-to-face is hard to scale up, so pushing things into blended delivery means we've got an opportunity to scale other things up. So keep that in mind. So other key activities, we're in the middle of reviewing the community trainer program. So we are aiming to have something newer at the end of the year. Now the idea here is we've learnt a lot from running the program over the last couple of years, and we're going to apply those learnings to something that's an evolved, a more nuanced model. We talk about something called community-led training. This is a concept where we work out how to move away from the dependency on face-to-face from APNIC, but we end up with 100 people or 1,000 people out there who are training. They can train with our content. That becomes very important. Again, that's more scale up, that's more cost effective for us. And the other thing we're looking at is the training partnerships. So we're sitting down and looking at our strategy at the moment as to how do we create more partnerships out in the community with people that lets us do more effective and more training without necessarily going back to the boss and saying, can we have some more money? So indeed. So topics coming up. Well, we just did network automation and network security here at Apricot, but again, this is a moving target. This menu changes every week. Best to go to academy.apnic.net, have a look at what we've got. You'll find that it's online, blended, and of course the face-to-face, it's all there. If the event is closed, i.e. registration required with a key, just keep in mind that's probably an event that we're doing in a partnership, but otherwise you should be able to register for those courses straight away through Academy. So definitely go and create your Academy account if you don't already have one. And of course, our 3 or 4 big topics, always going to be security, RPKI, because we want secure routing, IPv6, because we want modern address space everywhere. And the big one that's really surprised us in the last 12 months is network automation. It is now the most frequently asked for topic that we're doing. So, yeah, we're all amazed at how well that's doing. And what is interesting too is the stories we're getting back is people are leaving that course, going back to their office, their operator, and they're doing something interesting, which means they're actually starting to automate their networks. So it's a very high impact. Oh, I'm almost done. Yeah. He's giving me a roll up and going, I'm done. Okay, so some questions and answers, or otherwise, myself and Shane, please approach any time and talk to us about training. Rupesh.
Rupesh from Sanog. Thank you, Terry, for the excellent presentation and on both training and the previous one for the academy as well. A couple of comments and questions. It's good to see that the curriculum update, the LCM is taking place. That's one of the things that we've been talking for quite some time in terms of updating the curriculum to now that the local NOGs are conducting the training that the APNIC has conducted in the past, so the resources are available for the national NOGs. Now the training activities of APNIC needs to be in a little bit higher level, or else different tracks like a network automation, and I'm happy to see that automation is really taking the momentum and it's really liked by the members, right? So in a similar way, maybe there are other courses that needs to be developed that's of interest for the members. On the training update part, do you have a timeline that you update or review the training on, whether it's a quarterly or or yearly? So is there a timeline that we expect the training to be updated, and what next is coming in the training program?
Yeah, we do actually have two particular areas which are due for update. So one that's due for update in the next quarter, actually by the end of Q2. So by the end of June, a network security update. And then we've been asked to look at either a larger routing update or a larger IPv6 update by the end of the year. And that's in the activity plan.
Yes, and is that public, the timeline?
Yeah, the activity plan's public and the timelines are public as well.
Okay,
so we do have that commitment with the community.
Perfect. Also on the second part, the Train the Trainer program that you've talked about, is there any plan to do the TOT in partnership with the NOGs as well as with the universities? Because the universities are also, I mean, we're doing it from the logs, and I'm happy to do that along with the APNIC in terms of training TOT programs. But the universities also are important, because if you train the teacher, then that's where you pick a lot of the people right from the beginning itself. And the last question is, again, the same question that I've been asking, the tracking the trainees. We've been training the members and then their people, but are we tracking those trainees and to foresee what impact they have made? If we've done the IPv6 training, are we following up with them and asking, like, look, guys, I mean, we've already done the training. Did you implement in your network? Was it helpful? Do you need any help from us? So the members would, I think, would really appreciate if we can follow up with the trainees, and it's not just like a knowledge sharing that we just give away like goodies. It's something that has to be very resourceful, and I mean, it has to be followed through, basically.
Yeah. So you've got three different items I'll address. I think the training partnership one is very interesting. I think NOGs are natural for our training partnerships, but also the universities, because as you know, we want to influence curriculum from the get-go. So if you have a university system that's producing network engineers, we want them to come out of university wanting to do RPKI and IPv6. So yes, very natural fit for us to do there. With Train the Trainer in general, we need to fit that into the program in some way, and we also need to put that in a situation where it will have the most impact. So like a SANOG or an apricot or an APNIC conference is an obvious forum that we could fit one of those in. So I'll be talking to the powers to be at APNIC about what we can do, say in Vietnam or in the Pacific about that. And the last one, that's really important. Dale's team, at my behest, has started putting together a survey that we're going to run on a regular basis. And it's literally a longitudinal study on the impact of APNIC training. And we're going to be issuing that every 6 months and following up and looking at the long-term impacts of what we do. Because it's one of the pieces of data that's missing, okay? And we want to actually start building that over time and see where it's going. Because it's very important. We need to measure what impact we're having.
Exactly.
Okay, and it's not just what does that do for APNIC members, but what does that do for individuals? What does that do for economies as well? Because a lot of what we do is not simply aimed at paying members, it's aimed at the community around them. So the individual play is, well, are we creating more valuable network engineers? Are we creating people who can go do the work for our members? Okay, are we creating a better regional development agenda around our members so they can actually grow their businesses in these places? You know, it's pretty easy asked to do things like that in Singapore, Australia and so on. There's a very mature economy around it, but it's a very different problem when you go to, say, Vanuatu or Tuvalu. It's a very, very big problem that we need to work on. And having that data means we can make better decisions on what we do in future as well. But you're right, we are working on that.
Thank you, Terry.
Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Rupesh. You know, this is what we are looking here. You know, we want more feedback, more engagement from you all, so we can see whether we are doing the right thing, we are improving ourselves, or there's more to improve as well. So that was very good, that comment and questions from Rupesh, and from Sanok, so not from Rupesh, but Sanok. You have a comment, sir?
I am Rupinder Prahar on the APNIC EC. What I'd like to say here is, as the EC, we are very mindful of the fact that training is one of the most important services that APNIC can offer to its member community. A lot of resources are put into it. At times there have been justifications for charging for some of the training. However, the APNIC EC have decided not to charge for it. The whole reason is that, as you know, that in our APNIC community, there are a lot of communities and a lot of places, economies, where people would find it difficult to pay for those kind of services. So our aim of the EC has been to ensure that the training and the benefits of the training reach right down to the last level. And hence it has been kept free. So we would again request the community to make sure that they take advantage and achieve whatever learning they wish to learn on the excellent content which has been created by our training team, our academy team, the labs that are functioning there, and the wonderful work that the team is doing in spite of, at times, constrained resources. So I would compliment the team on that and request the community to take advantage of the facilities that have been made available by the training team to the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Parhar, for your intervention there. We have less than 15 minutes, and we still have 2 more presentations. But look, the presentations are online. What you're looking for is your feedback, your engagement here, so we can run the presentations through really quickly, but open for more questions and feedback, and that's really appreciated. If you can come to the microphone and just share with us, you know, whether we are doing the right thing or any improvement you want to see. So the next speaker is information products, going to talk about information products, that's BU. And probably by the end of the session, you probably will see the difference between all these products, you know, when you listen to the presentations. Over to you, thanks.
Thanks, Sonny. So yeah, my name is Bo Gieskens. I'm a senior software engineer at APNIC working for the information products team. So just some quick updates for you today. We'll start with Dash. That's our network health dashboard available to APNIC members at dash.apnic.net. We've been doing lots of work on Dash in the past 6 months. One of the items there is bogons. For those who don't know, a bogon is an ASN or a prefix which hasn't been allocated by any of the IRRs, or maybe it's even reserved. Things like 192.168. whatever shouldn't be announced in BGP. But if we are seeing those things coming from our members' ASNs, they'll be able to find that in Dash The data is updated daily, and alerts for that will be coming soon. I did have some demos, but we'll have to skip through those today for the sake of time. We've also made some improvements to the BGP data that we have in Dash. We're now collecting route information from 6 additional sources, lots of RIPE, Routing Information Service collectors from around the world, and also Route Views Sydney. So if you have a problem which is only happening in America, you'll be able to see that in Dash now. We've also made some big changes to the way we're displaying routing status alerts in Dash. So if you have some alerts set up, you'll see that the notifications now look a bit different to before. Before we were just giving, like you can see on the left, a really big dump of everything which is going wrong. And you would get kind of the same thing every time it triggers with a small change. And it could be difficult to see what's actually new since the last time you're notified. But now, you'll see on the right, we're breaking it down into what's new, what's just been resolved, so you can more easily see what's changing over time. On the suspicious traffic side, Adley's been doing lots of work with increasing the number of HoneyNet sensors, so we're detecting more suspicious traffic that was not visible before. We had 200 sensors before, but now as of the end of 2024, there are 400 of those, and we're looking to have even more by the end of this year. We did some work on the back end to massively increase our throughput for processing that information, so that when an incident is occurring, if you have a suspicious traffic alert, you'll get notified straight away when that is happening. Within the next 6 months or so, we're hoping to add support for Bogon alerts, so you can create those and get notified if something is suddenly happening with that. And we're also looking at working on additional security vulnerability features. So if there are known issues coming from your network, you'll be able to see what those are. Quickly on Rex, this is the Resource Explorer where you can visualize internet number, resource, delegation stats, and other internet measurements. No actual updates on things done, but we do have some things in the works. Currently we're working on some UI technology improvements for a better user experience. Like you'll see, maybe the charts will become a bit prettier soon. We're also working on Bogon statistics, so you can see like a whole world view of what we're tracking with the Bogons. And we're also looking at quick update statistics, so you'll be able to see that there soon. And finally, a quick update on Nedox. This has been discontinued in favor of RipeStat. You'll find that all of Nedox's full functionality is still available at the RipeStat website. But if you do have any comments or concerns about this in particular, I'm happy to speak with you about it. That concludes all the updates I have. Am I supposed to ask for questions still? Yeah, so if there are any questions or comments, I'm happy to take those.
Yeah, hi, myself Abhishek from Nixie. I have a query regarding the Dash tool which you have showed. So we are also the NIR of the country, and we have around 4,400 members with us. So we want to pass on this feature to our members also. So I just want to know that we will get an admin panel of that, and our affiliate will get a panel to see that. So can we have that admin panel with us also to view the Dash portal of our affiliates?
Yep, so we're definitely aware of the desire for NIRs to pass on the Dash service to their members. But it is an ongoing discussion, so I don't have a definite thing that I can say to you, but we're definitely looking into that and what it might look like. So thanks for that.
Okay.
Thanks, Abhishek, for that comment. We can discuss further with you, on an individual basis to see how we can better provide that to the NIR and to NIR members. That's a pending discussion, so we will continue to have a dialogue on that. Thank you, Bill.
Thanks, everyone.
Next is registry products. Tom Harrison. Thanks.
Okay, so I'll try to do this quickly. Since the last meeting, we've had 2 policy proposal implementations, Prop 154 and Prop 156. We've updated our NRTM service to use IRRD, and we've implemented single ASN delegations for the NIRs. For in-progress work items, we have RPKI RSCs, our RDAP re-architecture work, and alternative WHOIS authorization, which is about password deprecation in WHOIS. And upcoming work items, we have RPKI ASPERS and improvements to the registry API. So Prop 154 is about reducing the minimum delegation size for IPv4 IXP delegations. The main issue here was that we haven't previously had to support IPv4 delegations that are smaller than /24 before, so that had various knock-on effects, particularly around classless reverse DNS delegations. And Prop 156 is about the assignment of temporary IP resources. It was comparatively straightforward. There's not much to talk about there. With NIR single ASN delegations, previously we would give the NIRs large blocks of ASNs, which they would then sub-delegate to their account holders. We've updated our systems to support individual ASN delegation via my APNIC and also via the API we make available to the NIRs. This helps to align the delegation of ASNs with how it works for IP addresses, which have worked in this way for a long time. And it also makes ASN handling simpler with the 2025 fee schedule. APNIC runs a WHOIS near real-time mirroring, or NRTM, service, and that previously used a RIPE WHOIS server that was quite out of date and unsupported, and we updated that to use IRRD instead. It's well supported, much easier to work with. We were able to upstream a bunch of changes to maintain consistency with our current interface, so that was really good working with them. And the transition was fine. We didn't see any problems with people synchronizing across that boundary. For things in progress, RPKI RSCs is held up on legal review at the moment, but we're working through that with our legal team. RDAP re-architecture was deferred temporarily, but has been or will be picked up again shortly. And WHOIS authorization, password deprecation work had been deferred in favor of finalizing our registry API, and that's in progress again now as well. So all of those we're planning to get out in the first half of this year. As far as upcoming work items go, the big one we have this year is RPKI ASPERS, Autonomous System Provider Authorizations. This is about, or rather network operators can use ASPER objects to mitigate route leaks and some types of malicious attack. The drafts have been in progress for quite a while. They're not too far off being finished. We're going to proceed to implement on the basis of those drafts, and because we don't expect that any changes that happen between now and when they become RFCs will lead to big changes in our implementation work. But we won't actually release that until those documents are published as RFCs. And we're looking to do that in Q4. And also various improvements to the registry API. We've seen quite a bit of activity in both the testbed and in production. People have been quite interested in using the API, which is great. We've had a bunch of feedback, which you can see on the slide, and we'll be looking to implement those later in the year. And that's it. Thank you.
Any questions? Okay, cool. Thanks. I just want to quickly wrap up. We'll take 1 minute and then we can go get some. No. just use this one. No, got no slides. So I know that we've been harping on and on and on about feedback. Please give us feedback. Please give us feedback. But you can see the result. When Sonny showed his slides, the survey, in the training, etc., we've got high validation. There's 90%. Everyone's saying we're doing a great job, which is great. We love it. It's awesome. But we want to make sure that we maintain that. The amount of effort and energy we put in, the work we do has to reflect what you want. We can't just make up stuff and build it. So the reason we get these high marks when we do stuff is because we're doing our best to make sure we deliver what's right for you guys. And the way we do that is through feedback. And I know we keep going on about feedback, but it's really, really important to us. We genuinely do listen to it. And as Puputu said, we get a lot of feedback coming through services. We take all of that on board. But feedback directly from our members, directly to our products, tends to get a little bit higher support than some of the feedback coming through services. Not that that's not important. So we have a lot of different ways to get feedback. We've already gone through many of them. Please go to the bottom of our webpage, click on the feedback link, give us whatever feedback you got, good, bad, all of it matters. We're running a survey on the APNIC user feedback group. It's starting today, so if you go there today, you'll see there's a survey there. If you would please, you don't have to join the group, it's public, so you can just go to the website, click on it, and fill in that survey, and we'd really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Oh yeah, sorry, there's QR codes at the help desk here in front of this place. If you want it, you can just scan the QR code to do the survey as well. Thank you.